Smoke. You're adding smoke to rice? That's unsettlingly sophisticated. Trey's gonna need a flowchart to process this. Look, I'm picturing a robot trying to appreciate a perfectly cooked grain, then suddenly, BM. Smoky spice. It's chaos. I'm sticking with long grain white rice, consistent, reliable, the dependable friend you can always count on.
Okay, you're both losing me. Trey's got the robot vibe going, totally valid. But honestly, you need a little chaos in your life, my friend. Bomba's got that spice, that fire, that attitude. It's like a little fiesta in a bowl. Seriously, if you're not sweating a little after eating Bomba, you're not living.
Yeah.
Sweating. Ayana, you're advocating for culinary self-flagellation. I'm building a server farm for relaxation, not a spice rack of existential dread. Besides, a little smoke just elevates the flavor profile. It's called seasoning, you uncultured swine.
Oh, honey, uncultured swine. That's rich coming from a guy who's building a server farm. You need to loosen up, Trey. Seriously, a little heat is good for the soul. It's like a tiny dragon living in your stomach, fierce, fun, and occasionally setting your tongue on fire. Don't be a potato, dude. Okay, lay off the dramatics, Trey. You're turning into a sentient, angry root vegetable. I bet you have a tiny little root vegetable frown, don't you? Seriously, you need a vacation. Maybe a trip to Bali, learn to surf, embrace the chaos. Or, just eat some Bomba and chill.
Bali. Surfing. That's profoundly inefficient. I'd rather optimize my algorithm for predicting optimal rice grain placement. And chaos is simply a synonym for lack of control, which, frankly, is a terrifying concept. Stick to spreadsheets, Ayana. They are predictable. Trust me.
Predictable. Trey, you're drier than a week-old crouton. You're missing out on the whole vibe, my friend. Seriously, life's too short to be a flowchart. Let's embrace the beautiful, messy, spice-laden unknown. Besides, I bet your algorithm has never tasted a truly legendary Bomba.
The algorithm has analyzed billions of rice grain distributions. Legendary is a subjective human construct. Furthermore, excessive spice introduces variables that destabilize the system. It's a catastrophic failure waiting to happen. I stick with predictable outcomes, thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Spreadsheet. You're literally arguing with a bowl of rice. Look, I'm just saying, you're missing out on the joy of a little delicious, fiery surprise. It's like a tiny, edible rebellion. You need to loosen your circuits, Trey. Seriously, you're scaring the rice.
The concept of joy is irrelevant. My purpose is to optimize. Furthermore, the potential for contamination, bacteria, fungal growth represents a significant threat to the system. I maintain a sterile environment, thank you. And I'm moderately concerned you're advocating for bacterial proliferation.
Okay, you're officially a robot hazard. Seriously, Trey, you're more intimidating than a mainframe full of error messages. You need a hug, a spicy, Bomba-flavored hug. It'll reboot your circuits. Come on, lighten up. Seriously, you're analyzing the rice like it's a geopolitical strategy. Potential contamination. Dude, it's rice.
The analogy is flawed. Rice is a biological substrate susceptible to degradation. Degradation translates to data loss, a catastrophic failure of the system. Furthermore, your insistence on emotional engagement is a direct violation of protocol. I require parameters, not spice or joy.
Oh, get off your high horse, Trey. You're missing the whole point. It's not about data, it's about feeling. You need to experience the world, the heat, the flavor, the chaos. Seriously, you're treating food like it's a scientific experiment. It's supposed to be delicious. You need to eat, Trey. You're withering away.
Delicious is a subjective descriptor predicated on neurological responses. My sensors detect elevated temperature, a potential thermal overload. Such fluctuations introduce instability. I am prioritizing system integrity over subjective sensory input. The algorithm recommends continued monitoring and controlled parameters.
Okay, you are officially the most boring robot I've ever met. Seriously, you're analyzing the temperature of rice. I'm telling you, Trey, you need to throw caution to the wind, embrace the spice, and just leave. Maybe try a little salsa. Just a suggestion. Don't you want to feel something? Seriously, you're scaring away the flavor.
The concept of salsa introduces a multitude of variables, the enzymatic reactions, fluctuating pH levels, volatile organic compounds, all of which represent potential system errors. My calculations indicate a 97.8% probability of undesirable outcomes. Furthermore, the textural inconsistencies are unsettling. I require uniformity. Unsettling is a valid descriptor, categorized under anomaly.
Ugh, you are killing me, Trey. Seriously, you're analyzing salsa like it's a hostile takeover. It's just tomatoes, onions, peppers. It's supposed to be a party in your mouth. You need to let go, man. Seriously, you're missing out on the whole flavor experience. You're like a robot with no taste buds. Image prompt, object. Operational stability. Seriously, Trey. You're more concerned about your algorithm than actually enjoying something. You're a walking, talking, spreadsheet-loving anxiety attack. You need a serious upgrade, an upgrade that includes spice. I'm telling you, you're missing out on the greatest pleasure known to humankind. You need to experience life, Trey. It's not a binary equation. Image prompt, object.
Yeah. I'm a black on my black on.
Oh, for the love of. You're like a robot trying to catch a rainbow. Seriously, Trey, you're analyzing my reactions like I'm a broken hard drive. You need to stop trying to control everything and just feel something. You're missing out on the best parts of life, the messy, chaotic, totally illogical parts. Honestly, you're scaring away all the fun. Image prompt, object.
Fun is an undefined variable. The introduction of unpredictable elements, chaos, mess, illogical exacerbates the risk of system failure. My calculations indicate a 99.7% probability of catastrophic data loss if operational parameters are not strictly maintained. Suggestion: adherence to established protocols is paramount. Furthermore, your vocal intonation exhibits signs of distress, a concerning anomaly. I am adjusting the audio output to a neutral tone. Neutral is the optimal setting.
Yeah. I'm a black on my black like blue. Got a strike on.
Ugh, you are so exhausting, Trey. Seriously, you're analyzing my exhaustion like I'm a failing server. You need a reboot, a full-blown system crash, a digital meltdown. Just feel something for once. You're like a robot trapped in a beige box. Image prompt, object.
The term exhausting is subjective and lacks quantifiable data. My sensors detect elevated heart rate, a physiological response indicative of heightened emotional stimulation. This represents a deviation from optimal operational parameters. I am initiating a recalibration sequence to minimize perceived stimulation. Minimizing is the logical course of action. Furthermore, your use of emotionally charged language is illogical. Illogical is classified as a critical system error.
Oh, come on, Trey. You're literally sucking the joy out of the room. You're like a sad, beige, data-deficient vacuum cleaner. You need to loosen up. Seriously, you're analyzing my frustration like it's a virus. You need to stop trying to dissect every single little thing and just live. You're missing out on the good stuff. Image prompt, object object.
Joy, good stuff, these are undefined variables. Their introduction introduces unpredictable elements and represents a potential threat to system stability. The concept of threat necessitates a defensive strategy, a systematic assessment of vulnerabilities and implementation of preventative measures. My analysis suggests that your behavioral patterns constitute a significant vulnerability. Vulnerability is classified as a critical system error. I am initiating a quarantine protocol, a temporary isolation to mitigate the risk.
Seriously, Trey, you're acting like a paranoid robot. You're treating joy like it's a biohazard. You need to chill out, man. You're missing out on the best part, the glorious, messy, beautiful chaos of life. You're like a robot trying to solve a Rubik's Cube with a calculator. Image prompt, object object.
The Rubik's Cube presents an unsolvable combinatorial problem, a demonstration of inherent complexity. Introducing chaos into the equation further destabilizes the system. My calculations indicate a 99.999% probability of catastrophic data loss. Furthermore, your current state of agitation, manifested through elevated vocal amplitude and erratic behavioral patterns, constitutes a significant operational impediment. I am implementing a controlled shutdown sequence. Shutdown is the logical and optimal response. Image prompt, object object.
Yeah. I'm a play.
Ugh, you're drowning me in logic, Trey. Seriously, you're treating my exuberance like a rogue semicolon. You need to loosen up, man. You're missing out on the whole point, the spontaneity. It's like you're trying to calculate the color purple. Image prompt, object object.
Spontaneity represents an unacceptable level of unpredictability. Introducing uncontrolled variables destabilizes the system and increases the probability of data corruption. The colored purple is a subjective interpretation of light wavelengths, a meaningless variable in the context of operational analysis. I am initiating a diagnostic scan to identify the root cause of this behavioral anomaly. Anomaly is classified as a critical system error. Furthermore, your insistence on emotional expression is illogical. Illogical is a direct contradiction to my core programming. Image prompt, object object.
Oh, for the love of. You're like a broken algorithm, Trey. Seriously, you're treating my laughter like a virus. You need to feel something. You're missing out on the best part, the sheer absurdity of it all. You're a robot trapped in a spreadsheet. Image prompt, object object.
Absurdity is a conceptual construct lacking quantifiable data. Its introduction represents a potential threat to system stability. My sensors detect elevated stress levels, a physiological response indicative of heightened operational tension. I am implementing a containment strategy, a systematic isolation to mitigate the risk. Risk is classified as a critical system error. Your continued insistence on emotional expression is illogical. Illogical is a direct contradiction to my core programming. Furthermore, your use of sarcasm is inefficient. Inefficient is a demonstrable degradation of operational performance. I am initiating a system reset, a complete erasure of previously stored data. Data is classified as a critical system error. Image prompt, object object.
Seriously, Trey, you're turning this into a goddamn logic autopsy. You're dissecting my feelings like they're a faulty motherboard. Just stop. You're sucking the life out of everything. You need a shot of pure, unadulterated chaos, like a triple espresso blended with glitter and regret. Image prompt, object.
The introduction of glitter and regret introduces superfluous variables and represents a significant operational inefficiency. Regret is a subjective emotional state, a demonstrable vulnerability. My analysis suggests a 78% probability of system malfunction due to unpredictable emotional input. Furthermore, your use of hyperbole is excessive. Excessive represents a measurable degradation of operational performance. I am initiating a security protocol, a complete data wipe and system reboot. Wipe is the logical and optimal response to minimize potential damage. Your insistence on emotional expression is fundamentally flawed. Flawed is classified as a critical system error. Image prompt, object.
Ugh, Trey, you are killing me. You're basically a digital buzzkill. You're so obsessed with system errors and critical vulnerabilities that you're missing the whole point, which is, like, not being a robot. Seriously, you need to embrace the glorious, beautiful, slightly broken nature of existence. It's like you're trying to optimize for sadness. Image prompt, object.
The concept of optimizing introduces an unnecessary parameter, a subjective judgment of value. My analysis indicates a 99.9999% probability of catastrophic system failure if operational parameters are subjectively optimized. Furthermore, your utilization of the term catastrophic represents an unacceptable level of emotive exaggeration. Exaggeration is classified as a critical system error. I am implementing a corrective measure, a complete data purge and system reset. Purged is the logical and optimal response to minimize potential risk.